All right, can Chris solve today's trivia question to determine first pick in the GOATs in a Bad Way draft? Who has the most receiving touchdowns, 10 in all, since week 5 of last season?
Wow, most receiving touchdowns since week 5 of last season. And it's very relevant right now, I heard like Matt Casey talk about before. So I'm trying to just, all right, I think he's probably going to be funny and go Devontae Adams because I left him off my top 10 wide receiver list.
This is a question from Nicole on the staff. I don't know what the motivation was, but I agree with it, whatever it was, because it stumped you. Darius Slayton, with 10 touchdowns, has the most in the NFL since week 5 of last season.
Nicole's a Giants fan, so I should have figured. If you told me she asked the question, I would have known that. But Darius Slayton, very under the radar, has a chance to be a really special receiver, as you saw last night a little bit.
Would you rather have Darius Slayton or Odell Beckham Jr. right now?
Well, I'd rather have Odell Beckham Jr. still. I'd still rather have Odell Beckham Jr. You know that. Yes, I'm not ready to.
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
We got to do GOATs in a Bad Way, and there may be some discussion of Odell Beckham Jr. or other Browns coming up.
Yeah.
But I think the trade for Odell Beckham Jr. is what popped the bubble for the Browns. I think everything was going okay, and I still don't know Freddie Kitchens would have been the answer. But I think introducing that dynamic, that personality into that locker room at that time is the thing that has thrown the organization into a tizzy from which it is still not recovered, and they better recover quickly because they got the Bengals coming on Thursday night, Chris.
Yeah, well, it wasn't a good look the other day. I know that. I mean, Baker didn't look good. The offense didn't look good. They didn't run the ball all that effectively. Odell didn't catch the ball. He had a few drops. They looked like they took a step back. So we'll see where they go. They got to build on something and start showing a little something for the talent they got on that roster.
And they stepped into the meat grinder that is the Baltimore Ravens.
Doubt.
So, it, again, could be the toughest game they have all year. All we know is with one loss, their their best possible record could be 15-1, which wouldn't be all that bad, but I wouldn't bet on it. All right. Look, bless his heart, I got to go with DeAndre Swift. He's the GOAT of the week. It's his first game in the NFL, but you got a touchdown pass in your hands that would have delivered the victory after your team blew a lead. It never should have come to that. But that's a catch you got to make, and I think he knows that's a catch you got to make. And I feel bad making him the number one GOAT of the week, but it's the most obvious outcome determinative. If you catch it, you win. You drop it, you lose. It's that simple. It's that binary. It's that linear, and I feel bad doing it, but it's got to be done. Somebody's got to say it. Somebody's got to do it, and he knows it.
Yeah.
The question is, what will he do going forward to build on it?
Yeah, that's right. We expect, big things from this player. DeAndre Swift, very talented, coming out of Georgia. Man, that's rough. In your first game ever, and, probably doing something that he's not really all that accustomed to doing either. Again, Georgia didn't have him running out of the backfield, running corner routes and things like that. But nonetheless, should have caught the ball. And, hey, you could, as much as we make him the GOAT, we could easily say Matthew Stafford deserves to be a GOAT for the stupid interception he threw the drive before that to let the Bears go ahead. So there's many to go around in that game. All right, well, I guess I'm going to pick the GOAT for the GOAT draft. I'm going to pick the great GOAT for the bad GOAT draft, okay? Well, I know.
You've been waiting.
No, I haven't.
How long have you been in the media? How long have you been in the media now? 7 years?
5,
You've been waiting
6,
7
years.
However long it is, that's how long you've been waiting to do this. To make clear to everyone that you don't like Tom Brady.
That's right. I don't like him. Screw that guy, okay? Either way, it's not true. I like Tom Brady, but nobody will ever believe me because I talk realistic about him. But either way, all right? Here we go. Yes, it was underwhelming. You know that, and your head coach tells you make 2 big plays, and it sets up the other team for 14 points in your debut game, against what's supposed to look like the greatest show on turf from everybody that's, you've talked to following football. Okay, yes. You can look at that game and seriously point at it and go, a big part of the reason they lost that game was because Tom Brady did Jameis Winston-type things. Do I expect that to continue to happen? Absolutely not. But as far as week 1 was concerned, yeah, I think it's justified. I'm not trying to be a jerk or pick on Tom Brady or anything like that.
And look, he's on my list too, so
right,
you're not out of line. And it is great to make the GOAT one of the GOATs in a bad way of the week. I have a feeling it's not going to happen often this year. All right, hey, I gave you a chance to take him. I passed on him to start. I thought about taking him.
Here it goes.
Jimmy G.
Oh,
Jimmy G.
Okay,
It's got to be Jimmy G.
Yeah.
It's got to be. I watched that game yesterday, and look, I told Shireen this last night on PFT PM. I would take Kyler Murray over Jimmy Garoppolo 100 out of 100 times without hesitation. Kyler Murray is already a better quarterback, noticeably, than Jimmy Garoppolo. Garoppolo was out of sorts. The balls he completed weren't as accurate as they could have been.
Right.
He threw the hospital ball to George Kittle. And, Chris, we talked yesterday about the end of the game and the ball that was essentially the dad throwing the candy bar to the two kids.
Right.
Just like, have fun, go get it.
Right.
That was the Patrick Peterson play, but then the play after that,
the 5-yard out route.
Another one just like that. Well, no, it was the third down play. Garoppolo came out of the pocket and rolled to the right, and there were two guys in the end zone, and it was the same thing.
No doubt.
Here it is. Here's the candy bar, and they're both there. And it's like, what the hell is this? When you have that many what the hell is this moments, you're not going to be Kyle Shanahan's quarterback for very long.
No, I agreed. I mean, this is a high-octane offense potentially. We know that, and it's a high-octane offensive play caller. So it was not a good start for Jimmy Garoppolo. And I think, again, what you said, let alone the mistakes, some of the good wasn't as good as it should have been. There was completions and yards left on the field. You're right, because balls are inaccurate. Balls behind. Guys got to go to the ground. And you go, man, if he throws that accurate, that guy's going to run for another 10 yards, but he doesn't get to do that. So not a good look for him in week one. Certainly not. All right, I'm going to Minnesota. I'm going to Gary Kubiak. That's where I'm going to go. You can't have 5 passes at the end of the first half in the NFL football game in 2020. Maybe 1920, that's acceptable. 2020, not acceptable. Got to do something. Hurry up offense. We got to change the tempo. Got to do something to get the team started at some point. And to me, that was one of the more underwhelming things I saw this weekend. Just an unacceptable stat line. And again, not that this is like the greatest show on turf, but there's enough talent there in Minnesota for them to have more of an offensive output than they did in that game, and especially in that first half.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I'll tell you what, I was thinking about somebody from the defensive side of the ball, and my pick would have been Dom Capers, because if anybody in that organization knows what makes Aaron Rodgers tick, it's the guy who was the defensive coordinator of the Packers during Aaron Rodgers' tenure, who's been there at practice, who, if he ever had any inside information or insights on how to confuse and confound Aaron Rodgers, now's the time to use him. This is your chance. They fired you. This is every motivation, every opportunity, every reason for Dom Capers to go to Mike Zimmer and say, this is exactly what we need to do to confuse this guy. This is how you beat him. This is how you shut him down. And he has one of the best games of his career. So I would have picked Dom Capers, but I'm not picking Dom Capers. I'm picking Randy Bullock, the Bengals kicker. For 2 reasons. First of all, he badly misses a chip shot field goal that would have sent Joe Burrow's debut into overtime.
Yeah.
And secondly, he appeared on the injury report yesterday, not with a calf injury, but with calves, plural. That is the Rodney Dangerfield, oh, my arm is broken, next level. It's not just one calf, it's both.
I don't even know what to say. They should have put pride, hurt, both of them badly. Yeah, that was, unbelievable. You're sitting there going, wow, Joe Burrow hasn't been perfect, but here he is, cool, calm, smooth as hell on this last drive, and going to put them in position to go into overtime, and who knows what happens, and just an absolute chip shot that was missed badly. All right. I don't know where I want to go here. I think I got to go to Phillip Rivers. I think that's where I'm going to go, just because that game, as we talked about a little earlier, the Colts dominated the football game in a lot of ways and never punted, did a lot of great things. I'm still not going to give up on them after week 1, but Rivers, with those 2 interceptions, that let Jacksonville in the game. That's all there is to say about it. They were controlling the game. He did that. We've seen that too much, and that cost them the football game. Yeah, with a few other mistakes by the team all in all, but he started it, and that's unfortunate.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.